Hi, Dr. Veronica here. I want to talk a little bit today about how human design plays into having an psychic intuitive reading or mediumship done at a particular place and time. My core genius is intuitive assessments. I realized young that I had this, but I didn't really talk about it or think it was anything unusual because a lot of people around didn't necessarily talk about this. Now I'm finding out later in life that particular family members also have this ability. So I'm in an advanced course on human design. I just was at the store today. I want to share with you my dream journal. This is a dream tree on the front of this. It has texture. And I decided I needed a new journal to start this new phase where I'm myself downloading how I'm integrating my human design learnings along with my intuitive skills to help my clients when they come to me. So what happens is I realize that the two are like medicine in that human design is your spiritual DNA. You have a physical DNA, which has thousands of codes in it. And those codes can be turned on or off. And either they show up as health and well being, or they show up as a disease based on different things that have happened in your life, like your environment, your food, your exercise, toxins, stress, all that shows up in your life and turns on and off your physical DNA. And so in medicine, especially personalized medicine, we say your genes are not your destiny. You can have the gene expression that looks like a major disease and then later on not have that disease. So for instance, a common gene that people know about is the BRCA gene for breast cancer. And a lot of people freak out when they have that. And sometimes women go and have double mastectomies. However, everybody that has that BRCA combination does not end up with breast cancer. Now, the thing is, in our Western medicine world, we don't study the people that don't end up with it. But I'm going to tell you what's going on. What's going on is you can switch on and off these genes. And so you can have the genes that look like they're going to turn into something that's a disease and not have the disease at all. So your physical DNA is informed by, let's say, things in your environment. The same is with your spiritual DNA. So your human design is your spiritual DNA. It's inherited. You are born with it. And you'd say, oh my God, that means this is what I am. It is what you are, except it can be turned, things can be turned on and off by the time and place that you're in, the way the planets are, and other factors in your life. And so I've noticed that somebody's spiritual design, their human design, doesn't necessarily affect what happens in a psychic intuitive reading. And that's just very fascinating to me because I can have somebody's design in front of them and know a lot about their life journey and life path, but that has nothing to do with exact in that moment how they need to peel the onion and what they need to know. And so let me give you a for instance. Last week, I had the pleasure of reading two different people. It depends on the week and how many people decide they're going to show up for a reading. And I knew both of their types. And what came through on the reading was not necessarily what was on their human design chart at all. They could not have guessed what, and I couldn't have guessed what was going to come through in the reading. One person, we ended up talking a lot about their career path and finances and how the two played in and what to do and how they felt about it and what they were seeing, what they were having blocks in that area. The other person actually had a really, it was fascinating to me in that a deceased relative actually channeled through me to give them really direct messages, direction, guidance. The person is a guide, an angel to them. And I don't know, this is probably the first time that they knew that they could tap on that guide and angel, which was somebody that was in their life. So what does this all say? This all says that all these energetic techniques have value. They all have value. So knowing one doesn't mean that it excludes the other. They all fit together nicely. So as I help my clients with human design, I also continue to help them with intuitive downloads. Now, how does that play out for me as far as my human design? I'm a projector. But besides being a projector, I have certain hanging gates and channels and defined centers on my chart that basically were put it in me that makes it so that I'm extraordinarily intuitive. It's not something that you look at my chart, you can deny, but also help me be able to be very practical in helping people, and also having the strength, unlike some other projectors, because we don't have sustainable energy, but I have a will center, which means that I look like I have sustainable energy sometimes. So a little bit for you about people are curious about human design. If you want to get find out what your human design is, and your type is the most important piece, you can fill out the form that I have with the video and get your human design done. And I will send you back an explanation of your particular type, and what it means and how you can use it. That's the most important piece for you to understand. So for instance, and I got to tell you, I know what I am astrologically. You know, oh, I'm a this astrological. I'm an Aquarius. I'm actually on the cusp, but I've had my natal chart done, which is different, which is different than human design. Had my natal chart done, and it's always been very difficult for me to figure out, well, what do I do with this information exactly? It's nice to know, it's accurate. It sort of pretends and says, okay, you're here to do this or that, but how to use it at a particular time and place, I've never quite been sure. With human design, it's clear how you can use it. There's 5 types, that's it. And how you show up in the world when you flow into your type, it's just, there's not a lot to know necessarily in that type. You can simply know this and say, okay, I'm going to do that. And I almost every coaching session with my clients, I remind them of their type and say, okay, now that you know this particular concept that we've talked about, how are you going to use it to fix your relationships, fix your money, get a new relationship, get respect. My book that I just wrote is Get the Respect You Deserve. How do you get respect? How do you get appreciated? And I gotta say that how you're appreciated is directly related to your type. I'm a projector. I have to wait for recognition and the invitation. That's how I'm going to be appreciated. I can't go and bully myself up in there. So just a little bit about it. I wanted to make a video because I just wanted to really show you my beautiful book here. That's my new journal. So I can write about all this that's happening. We've crossed into a new time period where these energetic techniques, they've always been important, but so many more people are aware of them, and want to talk about them and realize that there's been something missing from their life. And what is it? And this is completely separate from religion. You can follow any religion that you want to follow. And my question about that for you to think about with the religion is it working for you? Is it not working for you? How do you know if it's working for you? Are you doing it because you have gratitude, love, and joy, and it gives you gratitude, love, and joy? Or are you doing it because of fear, anger, and sadness? And unfortunately, a lot of people are doing religion out of fear, and fear of being abandoned, not being accepted, fear that, they're going to go to hell, God's going to strike them down, their family's not going to love them, their friends aren't going to love them. Fear, that's, if you're doing a religion for that particular reason, and ask yourself, and if I irritated you when I just said that, there you go. There's a belief. There's a belief that you have to examine. And so I'd love to hear what you have to say about what I just said, any of what I just said. Questions. When you ask me questions, it allows me to help you better. You asking questions allows me to help my clients better. Because if I cannot answer something, or something pisses me off that you ask me, then I need to do my own block clearing and inquiry. So thank you so much for listening. Fill out the below to get your human design done. And also consider that once you know your human design, the next best step is to figure out, well, where am I right now in the 5 areas of my life: health, money, relationships, career, and spirituality and personal growth. Am I blocked in any of these areas? If you're trying to get somewhere and you haven't been able to get there in any of those areas, if you're ill in any way, I started out as a medical intuitive, and strange, rare, and peculiar. If you got something strange, rare, and peculiar you can't figure out, you know what that says? It says you have a block uh, in your energy, in your aura. Healthy people, no matter what is going on around, stay well. Notice that if you see someone who is really healthy, they don't all of a sudden get stuff and just drop dead and all that other type of stuff. There's some kind of block. Now, we don't always know who has blocks and who doesn't have blocks, and you don't necessarily know. So when people say you're healthy, or they say somebody's young and healthy, if you get sick, that's just, you're not healthy in one of your areas: mind, body, spirit. Once you get sick physically, the physical illness is in your aura before it ends up in your physical body. So what was it that triggered in your aura the illness? This is all fun stuff to talk about. So think about how human design plays together in the same yard. Your spiritual DNA plays with your physical DNA, which also your aura at the present time, which gives energetic information, is going in this all the time. And if you need to know information here and now that you can't seem to answer and nobody else seems to be able to answer, that's when what I do as an intuitive is to mirror things back to you. I put vocalness so that you can hear what's going on. Or as in working with somebody else, you put in, you get some channeling and you get messages from your guides. So tell me what you think. Talk to you soon.